Hello everyone, today's run is a little bit different. I'll talk about it at the end, but it's related to a run I had a couple of weeks back. But today, pretty much just one theme really. I just want to talk about adaptability, and with doing these runs every week, when you've got these constraints of figuring out where to run somewhere different and you've got a 5k radius, you have to adapt and try and find new places. So here's a new place. Stuck between a couple of freeway overpasses, but it's different. So it's not a beach, it's not a mountain, it's not a trail. But anyway, but back to adaptability. So we're all adapting to COVID or work from home, or adapting to working in the workplace even, with everything that's going on. So it's a challenging time, but I think the positives is that we start thinking more outside the square. So for so long we accept what has been the same and what doesn't change, and now it's being proven that we can actually work in better ways, more creative ways, and be more productive and happier and satisfied, particularly if you don't have to commute 2 hours a day. So that's one of the positives, I think, is trying to adapt our lives so we get the right balance of family, work, recreation, whatever it is. So I think that's really, really important. And that sort of relates, I'm doing some work for a company looking at their VC models as part of an audit, and along the way it's turning into a bit of consulting and some broader topics. And when I look at their models, like in general they're constructed fairly consistently, but they're just missing some real key ways of using VC to do certain tasks, and so again it's about adaptability, because like this company in the short term are looking at say migrating to a CRM system, and it may not be SAP, and so they need to consider what the impact of that might be, particularly if they're going to have dealer facing users, and the current models probably don't support that well. That would be too hard for someone without intimate knowledge of the product. And so, they're looking at ways to adapt. And the trick there is, like I can look at one model, another model, and you get a feel for what's going on. But then you've really got to step back and say, well, what's been done in this model relate to that one, and what can we share, and how can we actually pull this up and create a better structure overall. So again, it's about adapting what you've got, see if you can take it somewhere better and get a better balance out of everything. So that's just really the talk about adaptability. So I'll just talk about this run now. So 2 weeks ago I did a run which you can look up, which followed an old disused railway track, and it had blackberry thorns and trees over the track, and it was a pretty tough run. But right next to that railway track was a pathway that was built as part of this freeway where I'm sitting between at the moment, to put in some walking tracks and things. And so I ran that track today, which is like a 4-lane highway in comparison to running the railway track. And so I sort of followed it to the end, and it doesn't really end up anywhere too exciting. So I'm recording this. I sort of got back to this point as it's sort of, well, it's interesting in a industrial sort of way, I suppose, and you can probably hear the cars and trucks going past. But again, it's adapting to what I've got access to at the moment, and trying to be somewhere different. So the positive side is that this would be a place I probably wouldn't normally come to, but you know, in your journey on life, sometimes your journey is unexpected anyway, and you end up in places where you go, wow, if I hadn't done this and that, I wouldn't be here right now. So this is sort of one of those moments. It's a small moment, but you know, I like to try and take the best out of whatever's going on. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Not talking about work too much today or anything like that. You guys have a good weekend, have a good week next week, and if you watch these regularly, thank you, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.